gonna be some hot stuff, baby, tonight. Yeah. All right, buckle up. We've got the recession, depression, collapse, all of the above. So we're going to be bouncing back between three different videos here. We got this guy, and then we're going to start off with this dude, Large Man Abroad. The title is The Coming Collapse, Why This Recession Will Be Worse Than 2008. All right, let's blow this guy up. Let's have some fun.
The recession's here, and I don't think people understand how bad it's going to get. It's not like the 2008 recession. All the variables are in place for it to be something much worse, and that's what I want to talk about today. We're seeing job layoffs all throughout the country right now, and so far it's mostly been centered around white-collar government work. And I think that this sector is going to be hit the hardest in general as this administration continues to gut many of the social programs and departments of the government that have been built for social services. And while in 2008 we saw a lot of people lose their jobs, I think in this case it is a little bit different. And I think that the trickle-down effect of the loss of a lot of white-collar jobs is also going to affect the bottom line for a lot of blue-collar workers. In 2008, if you lost your job...
That kind of makes sense, though. Like, if me, just regular jamoke, talking on the internet, making okay money, pretty good money, can't afford to pay you, because I'm the kind of guy that hires the plumber, right? And hires the people to do the remodeling and all that shit. If most of us can't afford it, then you just got to book rich clients. So that's fun. Anyways.
Job, you can actually just go to a grocery store. You can go to a McDonald's, and you can actually get enough of a wage to live. You can pay your rent, you can afford to feed your family still. Now try to do that. With the cost of living being as crazy as it has been, if you're forced to move to a minimum wage job, what chance do you have to provide for yourself, let alone provide for a family? As it is right now, it's costing $300 to $500 for a family to feed themselves.
Okay, hold on. I don't know. In 2008, could you really afford to live off of... I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense. Let me look. Hold on. Let's look this up real quick. Hold on. Wait a minute. Let me put some in it. 2008, $6.55 per hour was the minimum wage. Okay, so it was $6.55 per hour. Now... what was the average rent in 2008? Boom, boom, boom. Shake, shake. Oh, shit. Okay, so in 2008, the average rent was only $602. Damn. Really? Well, I didn't move out for the first time until 2011. And we rented a 3-bedroom house. Me and 2 homies. And we paid $500 flat each with utilities and everything. So that sounds about right. Okay. Like, all right. Yeah, you can't do that today. Anyways, back to this guy. It was crazy shit. I didn't even think about it like that. I'm only 35, so 2008, like graduating high school, who gives a shit? I'm just trying to smoke weed and hang out. Yeah.
But if you go down to a minimum wage job, and one person still has to stay home in order to avoid the extreme cost of childcare, that person's only going to be pulling in $500 a week, $600 a week before taxes. That means that it's going to be impossible to provide for a family if you lose your job and you're forced to take a minimum wage job. And like I said, during a recession, minimum wage jobs are really the only jobs that are around. And why do I say that this is going to affect a lot of blue-collar, safe jobs? Because it's the white-collar workers who usually pay for the services of blue-collar employees. If they're not able to afford to employ or hire tradesmen, then who's going to be paying for the services of those tradesmen, those blue-collar workers?
Yeah, makes all the sense in the world. I was thinking the same thing.
They say it's going to get bad.
Jump in here with a quick commercial break. Today's video is sponsored by Connect With Me. Connect With Me is perfect for YouTubers or somebody like me to connect with the audience on another level. How many YouTubers or influencers have you seen that just put a phone number out that you could just call at any minute, anytime? None. Exactly. This is a great way to connect with your audience, make a little extra money, people to support you. But also, here's the best part, my favorite. Connect With Me provides you with the mock number. You don't have to give out your real information. They handle the billing, and instead of booking a whole hour, no. You could just talk to them per minute. You want to talk to the person for 7 minutes? 7 minutes, right? At any time, okay? And for the YouTuber or influencer, you don't have to deal with scheduling. You don't have to deal with the billing. You don't have to worry about giving out your personal phone number, people texting you. These numbers don't accept text. But it is a real number that people can get in contact with you. They want to know information about YouTube, or hey, they just want to say hi, right? People leave super chats all the time. If I had the opportunity to call my favorite YouTuber or favorite influencer and give them a few bucks and talk to them, I would much rather do that than just go, here's $5, here's $10 on a super chat. Connect with me is free in the App Store. If you're the consumer, you don't need to download the app. You can just call the number on your favorite YouTuber's hotline, right? They charge by the minute. You talk to them for 10 minutes, go ahead. You can charge as little as $1 a minute, or you could charge as much as you want a minute. Depends on your worth. The money isn't the point. The point is it's a way to connect with the audience on another level, and it's just people helping people, church with the steeple, connect with me. Anyways, get them in the App Store. I love them, longtime sponsor, and I use them. And thanks to everybody who's called. Anyways, back to the video.
And as much as people want to sit back right now and laugh at government employees, laugh at white-collar corporate workers for losing their job, the fact is it's only the beginning. Because when people are no longer able to start buying all the same products that corporations rely on, in order for these corporations to have their stock remain so high, the stocks are going to go down. The stocks are going to crash. And the fear that drives stocks down, knowing that we're now in a recession, is going to drive those stocks even further down. And the question is, how is the government going to combat this? You know, with interest rates as high as they are right now, the only thing that they're going to be able to do is...
Well, I'll tell you what they're doing. Oh, I'm going to tell you exactly what they're doing, dude. They're going to keep lying, and they're going to keep trying to pull the eyes over the wool of the sheepskin. Oh, yeah. All right, we're going to go back to this dude. The government hiding foreclosures. Yeah, this is great. No, this is good news here. I'm going to tell you exactly what the fuck they're up to. Reventure Consulting. I'll leave all the links down below for this, but I'm having fun. You know, just let it burn.
The subprime bubble 2.0 is about to burst. It turns out that the U.S. government has been making the mortgage payments for hundreds of thousands of defaulted mortgage borrowers using taxpayer dollars, and this was just exposed by the Wall Street Journal. And if it's reversed, it has the potential to cause a massive, cataclysmic housing downturn in many cities and neighborhoods across America. And the big issue is the FHA mortgage program, the first-time home buyer mortgage program, where you could put 3% down to buy a house. This mortgage program now has a 14% default rate. The default rate's 13.5%. Over 1 million mortgage borrowers on the FHA program are currently in default, and the Biden administration basically...
Okay, basically what he's saying is it's 2008 all over again, where they just gave a bunch of people homes that they couldn't afford. No offense, I can't afford this shit either. Like, are you kidding me? I'm kind of locked in right now. Like, I can't afford to go buy a $600,000 house and have my mortgage be $3,500. Like, I'm sorry, most of us cannot. Swinging that long term is just insane, on top of things keep going up and up and up every year. This one, though. Imagine buying an overpriced house just to find out that the government was propping up values. That's the best, dude. Sellers are in for a rude awakening, thinking that their house is still worth 50, 60, 70% more than what they paid. And that's probably why people are not fucking doing it. But here's the best, right? We're gonna pivot again, and we're gonna kind of get a little wonky on this video. But this one was right here, Michael Bordonaro, the ultimate recession indicator: people financing food. I know we've heard about this. Everyone's heard about the fucking pay later now for DoorDash, but there's like an argument against it where it actually makes more sense than using a credit card. And personally, I feel like when people use this, it's almost like you don't even have credit, or your credit card's maybe maxed out. So just hear this argument, though. This is kind of funny.
It's better. According to Klarna, they say that 99% of our lending is repaid and our losses are far below credit card industry standards. Customers who use buy now, pay later owe less and repay more than credit card users. The average Klarna customer owes us about $100, and for credit cards, it's $7,236. So, fair point. I agree. Maybe buy now, pay later is just getting a bad rap. Maybe, just the idea, like the way that it sounds doesn't really sound very good, right? If you have to buy something now and pay for it later, that implies that you don't actually have the money. And honestly, I don't really understand why anybody would do this if you did have the money. It doesn't really make any sense.
Yeah, well, that's because they don't have the money. Here's the funniest part, right? They just said, I just thought about this. They said our average person has $100 and we have a 99% payback rate. Piece of shit. They just said their average account has $100. But then the average credit card, $7,000. Of course, dude. If they were only handing out credit cards and your max credit card was $100, you could pay that shit back. Just no shit. But that's where it gets tricky. Like, I couldn't believe when they gave me a $3,000 limit when I was 23. I was 23, dude. Like, here's $3,000. And I had money saved. I had money. But still, like, how inclined are you to actually pay that back when you don't have it? $100 though? Shit, you could have $400 to your name. $100, man, ain't nothing. But that's kind of my point with where I was going. Anyways, back to the large man abroad. Kind of let this guy close us out here. Yeah.
Is lower interest rates.
Real quick, I was just thinking about something. See my cat right here? That's a cat. I get so jealous. I have a dog too, and they just like lay around the house and like just licking each other. It's just like, I'm over here worried about this shit. I don't know. It's fucked up, dude. Just saying.
To try to free up capital and loosen those purse strings so that people can start taking business loans, personal loans, home loans again. But what happens when they do this? There may be a sweet spot where there's affordability in the asset class, again, where people can go in and buy homes, but it's a short window. And in that window, what you're going to see is corporations and the wealthiest people in America start buying up properties like there's no tomorrow, because they know that when that window closes, the value of those same assets is going to skyrocket. And the people who aren't even able to afford rent anymore, the people who start defaulting on their mortgages, are going to have no choice and nowhere to go. This recession is going to make 2008 look like nothing. This recession could be the end of the United States.
Oh shit, that's a bold claim. But I actually don't really think he's tripping out. Like, I really don't. Like, I'm not going to play this video, but this guy right here, this guy's name is Tone Talks. We're actually really cool. He always texts me some super insightful shit. But this video he posts is like an hour. I'll leave it down below. But there's a point in this video where he's talking about like how much gambling is going. You've seen it. Sports gambling, draft picks, every famous person. All right, boys, how much are we betting? Post Malone size bet. But there's something about like the gambling thing that I think about sometimes where I'm like, do people really? I feel as if it's kind of with the gambling, it's like a little bit of hope, just a little bit of, I can hit. And then you hear the classic thing that you hear all the time. You can't win if you don't play. Yeah. But think about that. Between the financing, the food, credit card debt at all-time high, Lord knows nobody can. I actually want to see this real quick. We just talked about average rent in 2008 was $600. Average rent in 2024, how much is that shit? Let's see. So The average, oh, well, this is for West Palm Beach. Average rent 2024 in America. How about that? Okay. So the median is $1,500. It's tripled. Triple it up, baby. Bet it all on black. Hold on. What's the minimum wage now? Remember, it was $6.55, I think. Minimum wage America 2025. I don't know why I put 2024. Oh, wow. In 2025, the federal minimum wage is $7.25 an hour. It's gone up a whole 75 cents. Charge it to the fucking game. It's gone up 75 cents. It's a fucking quarter, dude. Flick a quarter over. Could you imagine working? Guy goes, hey. Ding. You're like, thanks, Pop. That's where it's at. Oh, shit. I think the hardest part is, before we get back into this, aside from my cat having zero worries in the world, fucking bitch. The worst part about all of it is, like, I know a lot of people understand where it's at, but for instance, there's still people in my life that I have to. I don't like sit around and stress about it, but I do go, oh man, I got to play it safe. But then I have people in my life where I'm like, do you not get what's going on? Like this is not smart. We shouldn't be doing any of this. And that's kind of the scary part, because I mean, but then again, what if nothing happens? What if everything's just fine? Which it's not fine. It's not. I guess it's going to hit everybody when the time's right. Like, most people are going to feel it when it's right. I don't care if you're making good money. I don't care if you're making $100,000 a year. If you haven't felt it yet, like, you will. And it fucking sucks. And I don't like it.
And I don't think that it's fear-mongering. With as much division as we have now, when the initial reaction to mass government layoffs, when the initial reaction to white-collar workers losing all their jobs is for people to sit back and laugh and gloat and be happy about it, that shows that there's such division in this country that even when people are losing their livelihoods to the point where they can't afford to feed or house their families, the side that labels themselves as the opposition will show no mercy and no quarter. Because in the events that are leading up to this recession, we've never seen such a widening gap in political division in my lifetime. A lot of people are saying that there hasn't been this kind of division since the Civil War, and there's really no way that you can disagree with that. Leading up to this election, you've had people calling for violence. You've had people calling for civil war. Like it's a good thing, like it's going to be any benefit to the people of America. Useful pawns who can be thrown to the side by their betters, because understand that the way that things are going right now, we are.
Dude, there ain't going to be no fucking civil war. Let's be honest. There's not going to be a civil war. We all don't want to go to jail. That's like the big one. No one wants to go to fucking jail. Hold on. This person goes, I left America with my family in 2018 to go to Germany. I'm never going back. 2008 was just the warning. The next one will be the conclusion. I hate talking like this, but I feel it though, man. I really do. Like I'm going to say it 1,000 more times. How are we all supposed to just get rich? That's what it takes. Everybody just gets rich. Or you make American dollars and you go to another country until that place gets impacted. Not to be negative, but like it's still like possibilities out here. But seriously though, ask yourself that question. And I understand you don't have to get rich, just make good money. But how long are you supposed to just make 10%, 15% of people kind of money? Forever. That's what kind of blows me away. The ignorant, the uneducated, the naive, the cynical, and the bitter have brought us here. They will be surprised when it comes down, and surprised how bad it will be. Unfortunately, you are all speaking to the aware. The unaware will never hear the message until it's too late. But that's where I was kind of talking about earlier, where I do believe, like, sometimes I have to, there's people in my life where I'm like, I just go, dude, you make, and this isn't about like a competition who makes more money. I'm not trying to sound like that, so don't take it that way. But when I have somebody talking to me and they make less money than me, like way less, and they're talking to me as if shit is peaches and cream, just, that's where I'm kind of just making irrational decisions. We're grown men here. I'm not talking about 25-year-olds. You're 22 watching this, you're 22. Just say it out loud. I'm 22, fuck off. Like, I'm talking about grown-ups here who just kind of got a point about that. Like, they just don't get it. They don't see what's going down. If anything's ever going to go down, that's what I'm trying to get at. Does everything just stay up? Remember this. Remember what we just looked up. $7.25 per hour, guys. Remember that. Remember, $7.25 per hour. That's where we're at, minimum wage. Since 2008, the Great Recession, what was that? Oh, $600 for rent back then, but $6.55 an hour towards now. Oh, no. Oh, no. I know. I almost want to end on this note right here. $602 was the average fucking rent. Think about that for a second. We've gone up a quarter. Hold on. We've gone up 75 cents. Yet this rent right here, guys, has gone up 200%. 165%. My bad. This has gone up pennies. I don't even want to do the math because it's pathetic. Now, you know what? We're gonna finish this out. We're gonna keep this fucking going.
Are going to be in this together because no one's going to have your back. Donald Trump isn't going to come out of the White House and start supporting people. He's not going to start putting checks out. And if he does, that's a death nail to our economy. We've seen what the stimulus checks have done to our nation before, and what happens if they do that again. More inflation on top of the cost of living crisis. Now you're going to devalue the dollar even more. So by devaluing the dollar and at the same time blowing up property values, this is the end. It can't go on after that. You can say,
yeah, it really can't go on much further. Actually, I buy from this gold company, Atlas Bullion. They do not sponsor the channel, but like they have a subscription service that I'm a part of. Like I work with them, but like, okay, I don't want to make it sound like a spot. Point is, if you want to invest in yourself, I'll leave a link down below. And I do get a small kickback, but this is more for you guys, not for me. But I just invest in them every month, and it's just like a kind of subscription-based service, except for you're actually investing in yourself, not in me, in yourself, because this is a real thing. And I wish I would have started buying gold a long time ago. I've only been doing it for, I had some gold from like 5 years ago, but I've only been doing it for like 3-4 months now. And I just wanted to make sure the service was cool until I like told you guys about it. But yeah, it's like we have to do something with the money. And like, I can't just go throw it into real estate. Yeah, just go. Property. I don't have that much money. So like, I can do $150 a month or $400, $500 a month in gold. I can afford that. That's realistic, right? And you could put it on Klarna. You could do payments. No, I'm just kidding. You can't do that. But this is just kind of crazy. He's got a point. How far can it go? Push it to the limit.
Say, well, people just need to learn to live without. But I say that is wrong, and that is the wrong way to look at it. There is accountability that it has to be had, and there has to be measures taken to prevent things before they get worse. We already haven't seen the consequences of the tariffs, and if we remember from the 2019, 2020, 21, all the measures that were taken by the government, we didn't feel the effects right away. It took a few years for us to realize the enormity of the consequences from that kind of spending. And the only way that the government's going to see to get out of this situation is going to be by overspending again, repeating the same cycle with a small amount of money that actually goes out to the American people. It's just funneled right back up to the top. And that money is recycled right back into the purchase of assets and properties, strengthening the establishment of the monopoly of the asset class that the American people no longer have access to. This recession is going to be far worse than 2008, because after 2008, people still had lives. They still had a way to get back. But if things go down this road, there's going to be no road for which people can go to get their lives back. It won't be there. Forget about social climbing. Forget about...
I'm going to leave the links to all these guys down below. And unfortunately, I mean, I don't think it's all that bad. Like, we're still going to make it work. But I do think about that. I go, what are people... When we live in a world where, at least in America, and a lot of places in the West, where somebody doing social media or walking dogs, when the people doing the services that aren't necessarily important, like what I'm doing here, yeah, it's entertainment, informational, right? We're talking about it, people connecting with people, church with the steeple. I get that, right? Yes, there's some value there. But when people like me, or like I said, the dog walker, or the guy playing video games, or, you know, the obscure white-collar job guy is making more than the construction guy, than the blue-collar guy who's doing something important, and people doing services that are, like, actually much needed. My point is everybody going to try and get like everybody has to get rich? That's where it's going. So in other words, we're all going to be basically, we're all going to be fucked, except for our animals. They're happy no matter which way. But I'll leave all the links to this shit down below. Guys, if you want to invest in yourself, get some gold. I'll leave that down below. Appreciate everybody who bought a t-shirt, especially in this hard times. I know a t-shirt isn't going to help solve your problems. I guess it'll clothe you when you're outside. That'd be cool. I guarantee you'll be able to wear it. That's my friend Shape said that. He goes, one thing I can guarantee you'll be able to wear this t-shirt. I hate to get negative all the time, but I just had these three, and honestly, for years now, I've been thinking this shit was going to happen for years. I'm surprised, honestly, that this is still hasn't been a huge fucking announcement that this is all coming down. Honestly. Anyways, hell of a talk. Good shit, man.